From Baltimore's Camden Yards, the Red Sox finish up a 6-game road trip with the finale, trying to avoid a 3-game sweep here and looking for the bats to start booming. We'll see if someone else can find Utah Street like Jackie Bradley did last night. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us. I'm Dave O'Brien, my partner, Red Sox Hall of Famer Jerry Remy. Garen Austin along in just a couple of moments. Not many find Utah Street. Only 49 opponents have done that. Jackie Bradley, the latest. His home run last night went 420 feet. Jerry, he got all of it.
He certainly did, and it's good to see him back in the lineup because, you know, it looked pretty bad back in Detroit when he was rounding first base and he caught a toe and then he hyperextended his knee. And at this time, he really didn't know how bad this injury was going to be. Possibly a torn cartilage, possibly a ligament problem, but that was not the case. Just a strain. They went down to the minor leagues after getting a rehab assignment and back to the big leagues now with playing with a brace, but playing exceptionally well. Last night, absolutely crushing a hanging breaking ball right here onto Utah Street, Dave, as you mentioned, and that ball went a long, long way. You could tell from the crack of the bat. His first home run of the season, of course, Jackie had 26 last year. It's just good to see him back in the lineup right now because this Red Sox offense needs a boost, and maybe Jackie Bradley can get hot and give them the boost that they need.
Yeah, right now, basically the entire ball club, Jackie aside, is pretty cold, and they need some offense against Gausman and the Orioles today to pull out a victory. So game number 3, spring-like conditions here in Baltimore. Sox and the Orioles coming your way from Camden Yards. Via Toyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Plain Ridge Park Casino, 45 minutes from Boston. Ford Trucks. Built Ford Tough, the official truck of the Boston Red Sox. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And time for us to travel out there to Utah Street, where Garen Austin is standing by. That's where Jackie Bradley deposited a home run last night.
I'm out here on Utah Street, where Jackie Bradley Jr. hit a 420-foot mammoth home run that landed right here on this X mark. Now he's in good company because he's right behind Troy O'Leary's home run. Now there are 89 plaques out here. 6 of them are for the Red Sox. 5 Red Sox have homered out here. And guys, when we told Bradley he was getting a plaque out here on Utah Street, he said, really? He wasn't even aware of it. Very special night for him. Hit his first home run with a huge group of friends and family that had driven in from Richmond, Virginia. Not a bad night. OB?
Not a bad night and a great swing of the bat. Red Sox need some more of those. Here's a look at the lineup. Brought to you by Toyota's website for deals. BuyAToyota.com. It'll be Xander Bogaerts to lead it off. Dustin Pedroia with another day off. Benintendi, Betts, and Hanley Ramirez will follow. Hanley scuffling right now at that bat. Mitch Morland at first base. Jackie is in center field with Christian Vasquez catching. Pablo Sandoval at third, hitting eighth. And Marco Hernandez at second base and the number 9 hitter. And they'll be taking on the right-hander Kevin Gausman. 1-1. High ERA at 7.23. Usually a very good control guy, but he's been walking a lot of batters.
The Orioles defense is 7th in the league. They've made 9 errors in 16 games. Manny Machado will be at third base. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop. Jonathan Scope at second and Chris Davis at first. Left to right, Craig Gentry, Adam Jones, and Mark Trumbo. And Wellington Castillo doing the catching for Gausman.
Here are the umpires today. They're brought to you by Toyota's website for deals, BuyAToyota.com. That'll be Andy Fletcher with the balls and strikes. Alan Porter at first. Paul Nart at second base. And Hunter Wendelstadt, the umpire, at third. And we're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by Toyota. Visit compra2toyota.com to see Toyota deals not seen on TV.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
Very pretty day here. A little on the cool side, but real comfortable at Camden Yards. 59 degrees. There is plenty of sunshine. A little bit hazy at times. And wind out to center at just 4 miles per hour. So really no impact there.
Now, we've been very lucky this weekend. I mean, the whole weekend was supposed to be poor weather, but we've got every game in and a very nice day today.
Red Sox have won each of their last 5 day games. We shall see if that lights a fire under the bats. Xander Bogaerts to step in, hitting .321. And Gausman's first pitch of the afternoon on the way. Inside ball 1 with Benintendi on deck.
Well, you highlighted some of the troubles Gausman had in 18 2/3 innings so far this season. He's given up 15 runs, 26 hits, and he's also walked 12. A lot of base runners.
One thing the Red Sox could probably afford to do a little more of, Jerry, is take ball 4, because right now they're 9th in the American League in walks accepted.
Yeah, and this guy will give you ball 4. That's been the case so far this season.
1-1. The looper down the right field line, and that's going to find a home on the grass. Xander with a wide turn as Trumbo got to it, so it'll be a base hit. And the Red Sox have the first man on.
Well, Bogaerts now has a 5-game hitting streak as he just slices that ball to the opposite field for the base hit. It was a breaking ball that stayed inside, but somehow, as he does so well, he gets those hands inside the baseball and pushes that ball off to the opposite field.
Andrew Benintendi did not play last night in the Red Sox defeat after he went 0 for 4 and hit into a couple of double plays on Friday. John Farrell wanted him to rest against the lefty because he'd been playing so much, but also just sit and watch for a little while. And the first pitch to him will be ball 1.
Yeah, you might want to push the envelope a little bit. The Red Sox have been trouble scoring. You got a guy with a very slow delivery on the mound to home plate. Bogaerts with a couple of steals on the season.
Benintendi hitting .299 with the 1 home run on opening day. Fouled off, 1-1. Gausman last year was one of the Orioles' best pitchers. Despite a 9-12 record, he had a .361 ERA in 30 starts. And one thing he didn't do last year was walk anybody. He walked 47 men all year. So they are puzzled as to why he's missing the plate. He's not been landing his splitter. That's a base hit to right. Bogaerts racing around. He wants third. The throw will not be cut. Almost slid beyond the bag, but he held on, and everybody's safe at first and third.
Now, Bogaerts really taking a chance there early in the ball game because Trumbo put a very good charge on that ball in right field and made it a very close play at third base. But you know, regardless of the bad finger that Bogaerts has, he's still able to dive in and get there almost by the bag, but reaches back and grabs it. So the Red Sox up very quickly against Gausman. You can see right there, you know, that's a little bit of surprise because he was just about at second base when Trumbo had the baseball.
Just keeping those fingertips on the bag. 2 quick hits brings up Mookie Betts, who is 0 for 8 in the series, but really hammers Gausman. 9 for 21 and 2 homers. Here's a drive out to left field. Gentry racing back all the way to the wall. She's gone. The Red Sox grab a 3-0 lead before an out is recorded here today. And wouldn't you know it, Mookie strikes again at Camden Yards.
Well, you said it, Dave. Betts comes into the game at .429 against Gausman with 2 home runs. Make that 3 now as he cleans out a pitch. And like he so often does when he hits home runs, he pulls them. Watch the location of that pitch. That's right at his happy zone, down and in, about knee-high, inside part of the plate, and he just cleans that ball out.
His 2nd home run of the season and on the road trip. And for every Red Sox homer this season, Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. There's a drive. Forget about this one. Instantaneously way out of here. And the Red Sox go back-to-back. Hanley Ramirez busting out of a slump, and the Red Sox are on top 4-0. A shot. His first home run of 2017.
Oh, and Hanley didn't wait. He jumped on that first breaking ball he saw from Gausman that was out over the plate and absolutely crushed this ball. And this is what the Red Sox have been waiting for. You see the location of that breaking ball. A bad pitch by Gausman and good solid contact by Ramirez.
The way it sounded gone. Visit your Boston area Speedway during April. Use your Speedy Rewards card when you purchase $3 of in-store merchandise and get 10 cents off per gallon of gas. It's a fine way to launch a very busy Boston sports day. The Bruins at 3 and the Celtics at 6:30. The Red Sox ahead 4-0 without an out being recorded. And now Morland trying to make it 3 consecutive home runs.
The Red Sox have had his number. Gausman last year 1-3 against Boston with a 6.17 ERA.
2 singles and then back-to-back home runs. And the 0-1. Morland coming in at .309 with a homer and 8 driven in. 0 for 7 in the series. And for the Red Sox bats, this is just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, we talked about it over and over again. The home run ball, you know, to put them out in front, make the other team chase them, or be able to bring them back in games. And 2 home runs here in the first inning.
0-2.
Got away with one right there. That ball was supposed to be inside, kind of a waste pitch on an 0-2 count. I shouldn't say waste pitch, but a purpose pitch inside. Instead, he leaks it out over the plate and fouled off by Morland.
Jackie Bradley on deck. Jackie hit a mammoth home run last night. 0-2 on the way. Rattle to the right side, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Brings up some sarcastic applause from the Oriole fans. The play goes 6-3, 1 man gone, and JBJ in next. Jackie last night with one of the sweetest swings he's had at the big league level. First home run of the year. So they will put a plaque onto Utah Street to commemorate that. Jackie told Guerin, I had no idea they did that. It's a nice surprise. His name will be out there on that street forever. 0-2, back to that swing.
Now, last night he got a hanging breaking ball. You see it stay inside. That ball's supposed to be down and away, and he just absolutely crushed this ball up over everything.
Jackie, in fact, has hit 4 home runs in his last 9 games against Baltimore. And a 1-2. And as far as Hanley Ramirez is concerned, that is the 10th home run he's hit against Baltimore, and that's the most he has against anybody in the American League. Two. He waves and misses for strike 3, so 2 gone.
Looks like the split fingered fastball right there for the strikeout. Hanley, before that home run, was 2 for his last 22. There's a look right there at the off-speed pitch, dipping down and out of the strike zone and getting Bradley to swing and miss, chase a bad pitch.
Christian Vasquez becomes the 7th Red Sox batter here in the first inning. Sox ahead 4-0 in the blink of an eye today. Vasquez hitting .526, 10 hits and 19 at bats. Nice cushion right out of the gate for Eduardo Rodriguez. Red Sox have been falling behind so frequently in the first inning. Not today.
Yeah, it seems like the Red Sox, they're always playing from behind early in the ball game by a couple of runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, chasing the other club. Now they jump out in front, and we'll see what Rodriguez can do with them. Don't forget, the Orioles also have big strike ability.
And led the majors in home runs last year. And the 0-2 from Gausman. He wouldn't chase it. Red Sox dropping the first 2 games of this series 2-0 and 4-2. Had a hard time producing runs, but not here in the first inning today. Fouled back to the net. This is the second kind of start that Gausman has had like this season. Had a rough one against Cincinnati his last time out. He was pounded for 8 runs on 8 hits over 2 2/3 on Tuesday. Really a key man in their rotation. But off to an ugly start. The Red Sox benefiting here today, at least in the first inning. And the 1-2 to Vasquez. And it's in there for strike 3. Side retired, but the Red Sox explode for 4 and go back-to-back. Mookie Betts with a 3-run shot. Hanley Ramirez absolutely crushed it. And the Red Sox are up 4-0 in the first. By New England Chevy dealers. It'll be Gentry to lead it off, and then Jones and Machado. Mark Trumbo in right field. Chris Davis, the first baseman. Trey Mancini, the DH. Wellington Castillo does the catching. Scope at second, and Hardy, shortstop, batting ninth. And Rodriguez with a nice bump to work with. He delivers high, ball one on Gentry. Red Sox starter, presented by New England Audi dealers. Eduardo Rodriguez 0-1, 5-2-3. Making his first start, second appearance since becoming a dad to a baby boy last weekend. Gentry, a 167 hitter with excellent speed.
Has never faced Rodriguez in his life. First appearance against him.
Orioles trying to sweep the Sox today. They're riding a 4-game winning streak. And at 12-4, they have the best record in baseball. They're 6-1 at home. Two-one. They're not far away. The Washington Nationals at 12-5 in the National League. So both local franchises off to excellent starts here. 3-1 pitch. Pop foul out of play.
You wonder about Rodriguez's control a little early in this game. He has not had a lot of work. He had that bullpen outing up in Toronto. He was away from the club for 3 days.
Former Oriole with a 3-2 and struck him out. 94 miles an hour to punch out Gentry.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and they are 12th in the league with 11 errors in 18 games. Pablo Sandoval at third base. Xander Bogaerts the shortstop. Marco Hernandez at second, and Mitch Morland at first. Left to right, Andrew Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr., Mookie Betts, and Christian Vasquez doing the catching for Rodriguez. Fastball from Rodriguez right down the middle of the plate. Inside corner, actually. As you can see, Gentry jumping back. Gets plenty of the corner.
Adam Jones, 258 with 3 home runs. There's a long article in the Baltimore Sun today about the Orioles asking Jones to play deeper this season in center field. He's backed up about 15 feet on average. He wasn't thrilled with it. Didn't want to do it, but the Orioles presented him with the analytics indicating some shots went over his head last year, costing them runs because he likes to play very shallow.
Yeah, generally guys that play shallow have tremendous confidence in going back on the ball and can take a lot of base hits away.
That's exactly what he said. High pop up, but no carry on it. Jackie Bradley coming in for out number 2. He is a Gold Glove center fielder. It's sort of caught right in between old baseball and new baseball, and he's right in the middle right now. You can tell he's fighting it somewhat.
Yeah, you know, it's tough when you're used to playing that position and you're playing in close. I mean, you get accustomed to that, and to move you back, I got to tell you, from a hitter's point of view, when they're playing in shallow like that, it looks like it's very difficult to get a hit.
And with Dan Duquette and some of the Oriole front office were telling him is, we'll accept the singles. We just don't want the doubles, the triples. Those are more damaging. Grudgingly, he has done it. As Machado gets in, he's hitting .203, 3 homers, 9 RBIs. And Trumbo would follow him, but Rodriguez looking for a 1-2-3 start after being handed 4 runs. That's a strike.
And that one being questioned by Machado. He thought that ball was inside. It did appear to be inside, but Rodriguez will take it.
The 1-1 from the lefty. High and deep into left center. Jackie Bradley on the move with Benintendi, and Jackie runs it down. Very smoothly done for a 1-2-3 inning by Rodriguez. Top of the second, Red Sox with a 4-0 lead in Baltimore here on getaway day, and that's in there for a strike on Pablo Sandoval, who with the bat has had a solid road trip. He is 7 for 17. It's 4-12. As that average up over the Mendoza line. He'll be followed by Marco Hernandez, who's back in there at second base today, and then Xander Bogaerts, who got the game started with a base hit. As you said last night, Jerry, the Red Sox resting Pedroia for what will turn out to be 3 consecutive days, including the Monday off day.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be at all surprised. I don't know this, but that he would be checked out by doctors in Boston tomorrow to make sure that everything is okay. And I didn't expect him to play today.
Little chopper there to the shortstop, and Hardy up and over. One man gone. Let's go to Guerin.
OB, Jerry, as you guys mentioned, Dustin Pedroia is out of the lineup and unavailable again today. John Farrell said that he's still really sore and there is some swelling in his knee and ankle. And as you guys mentioned, he'll go for further imaging when the team returns to Boston just to rule anything out. Farrell said there isn't an added level of concern. He'll give a player 24 to 48 hours to see how he responds. And unfortunately, this is going to require some further imaging. And guys, Farrell said his importance to the team speaks to himself, and hopefully get him back in the lineup soon.
No doubt about that. Thanks, Guerin. So playing time for this man, Marco Hernandez, who's hitting .290. That's the batting average. He's also smoked some shots that have been caught. 3 for 5 in the series. Sox up 4-0. Kind of waiting on him to launch one too.
Yeah, a lot of split-fingered fastballs here from Gausman early in the ball game. A lot of them in the first inning, some here in the second inning. That last one a splitter.
24-year-old from Santiago in the Dominican Republic. Did well in 40 games with the Red Sox last year. Pretty small sample, but he did hit .294. Hit .309 for the Paw Sox. Marco coming up with the Cubs, acquired in the Felix Doubront trade in 2015. There's a lunging line drive and a base hit. So he's on again.
Yeah, that he does pretty well. He'll take those pitches that are down and away and not try to pull them, take them to the opposite field. He's got the kind of swing that can use the whole ballpark. That's pretty nasty there. That's not a bad pitch. It's down and away. Just lines it to the opposite field for the base hit.
So the Red Sox already with 5 hits against Gausman. You had detailed his problems keeping men off base.
Yeah, he's given up an awful lot of base runners between walks and hits. And in the case today, home runs.
Well, Xander Bogaerts is overdue for one. After hitting 21 last season. Base hit and a run in the first inning. So Xander with a 5-game hitting streak. Hernandez can run. Big hole on that right side. No play on here, and softly rolled to Scope. The shovel to second, one on to first, not in time. No double play. 2 down.
I love Bogaerts when he gets down the first base line. He actually makes the call safe before the umpire did.
He does.
He knew he had it beat, so he makes the safe sign. And he beats the umpire to it.
That's Xander.
He can get down that line. He can really run. And people are surprised sometimes at the speed of Bogaerts.
Two down for Benintendi. He's 1 for 1 with a single. He was on base when Mookie Betts cracked his 3-run homer. Moments later, Hanley Ramirez going back to back.
Well, again, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bogaerts run in this situation with 2 outs. If he gets the count in his favor, a pitch that he likes. Gausman not very quick to home plate.
Holding here, and that's in there for a strike. Benintendi ranking second in the majors in rookie hits, fourth in doubles, fourth in RBIs, fourth in runs scored. Carried his rookie status into this season. The 0-1.
Fastball's supposed to be inside, but it just sails away to the outside part of the plate, and Benintendi trying to hook that ball.
Red Sox 2-3 on this trip, which ends today. A record of 10-8. Gausman deals the 0-2 off the pitcher's glove, misdirected to Scope, going to throw to first, safe. Bogarts safely into second base.
Yeah, you got two guys in a row, Bogarts, Benintendi, well actually three with Betts, who can really fly down the first base line. And you know, once that ball got deflected by Gausman, it was going to be a tough play for Scope because he's going to change directions and come back to make the play. You see him switch directions right there, then the flip to first base. Very close play.
Well, no challenge by the Orioles. So it'll be an infield hit. Benintendi's 2 for 2.
Yeah, I think looking at that again, it looked like Benintendi did beat it.
And here comes Mookie Betts again. 3-run blast in the first inning. His second home run on the trip. Red Sox trying to do a little more damage here in the second against Gausman. Bounced up there, and the runners can't advance. Castillo knocked it about a third of the way up the first base line, but nobody could move.
Yeah, what a play that was by Wellington Castillo. You know, blocking that ball that bounced way out in front of the plate and able to keep the runners at first and second instead of allowing them to second and third and have two people in scoring position. Very nice play by the Oriole catcher.
They did very well getting this guy, Castillo.
Yeah, this guy can play. He's got a good throwing arm. Throws out a high percentage of runners. Offensively, he's off to a good start.
He can hit. He can hit for some power too. 2 down, 2 on. Another tough one to handle to make it 2-0. There's Mookie last year, homered 8 times in this ballpark. It was 1/4 of his total home runs for the year came in Baltimore. He now has 8 RBIs on this trip. The 2-0. Tried to sneak it inside but missed. So now 10 career home runs here in 24 games with 19 RBIs.
That's not bad. You take that anytime in any ballpark on the road.
The 3-0 from Gausman. And he walked him on 4 straight and loaded the bases for Hanley Ramirez. Go back to May 31 of last year. Some night for Betts. 1 home run. Gone to center. 2 home runs. Pulling that one just over the wall. And then that shot the other way. Out there to right center. So how do you defend that?
And that's a rarity for Betts to hit a home run to the opposite field, using the whole ballpark to go deep.
Hanley Ramirez with a shot gone instantaneously off his bat in first inning for his first home run. All filled up with 2 down. And he will take ball 1. And he's been up 11 times in his career against Gausman, and he's homered twice off it. And the 1-0 pitch. He looks at ball 2.
Last time up, first pitch he gets is a breaking ball that stays right out over the plate, and Ramirez absolutely crushes that ball. He hits the ball harder, and I've said this in the past, than anybody on the Red Sox team. Line shots, I mean, the ball just jumps off his bat.
Bogarts, Benintendi, Betts filling up the bases. Red Sox can really bust it open right away. And he pops that one foul. That'll make the seats.
You know, you really get appreciation for, you know, how hard guys hit the ball when you watch batting practice and you get to stand behind the cage. I do it a lot during spring training. And I'm telling you that the ball off his bat sounds different than anybody else. It's just amazing.
Two and one on Ramirez. Busted out of a 2 for 22 with that first inning blast. 2-2 now. For every RBI by a Franklin family batting glove member, Franklin Sports donates to the Red Sox Foundation's RBI program to help revitalize baseball and softball in our inner cities. Franklin Sports, a proud partner of the Red Sox Foundation and Major League Baseball. No place to put Hanley Ramirez. And the 2-2 from Gausman. High fly, dead center, deep. Jones back there, and will make the catch on the warning track. Just missed that one. 4-0 Red Sox. Orange in the early going. And by the time that series with Baltimore comes to an end on May 4th, Red Sox will have played just about half their schedule, their season series against Baltimore.
Yeah, this it's crazy, the scheduling. And we talked, you know, in the view from the booth today about how difficult this schedule is in the next couple of weeks for the Red Sox.
Trumbo with a swing off the end of the bat, pops it up into center on a back pedal. And catch will be made by Bogarts for the first out. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Eduardo Rodriguez, the former Oriole, has been impressive here at Camden Yards. 2-1 record at 1.63 ERA in 5 career starts. Feeling at home here. But against a very dangerous lineup. It is Chris Davis, 262 with 3 home runs. Almost hit one last night, slamming a double into the right field fence.
176 in his career against Rodriguez.
Went up top there, 93, and got it by him, 0-2.
Yeah, just overpowered him that time with a high fastball at 93 miles an hour.
Davis, 23 strikeouts already and 61 at bats, and he doesn't blink at that. He is the modern day slugger. Strikeouts do not matter. He hits a ton of home runs. And he'll take a seat. Second strikeout for Rodriguez, both of them looking.
Now that's just an unhittable pitch right there by Rodriguez. That fastball down and away on the outside corner. I mean, if you're Davis, you just sit there and kind of watch that. You hope that it's being called outside. And if you swing at it, you hope you can just foul it off.
He's one of the Orioles' emerging stars, really one of the American League's emerging stars, the DH Trey Mancini. He's already hit 5 home runs, got another one last night.
That knuckleball stayed inside on Mancini, and he just absolutely crushed one. Change up that time by Rodriguez.
This 8 home runs in his first 17 major league games. That ties a major league record with Carlos Delgado and Trevor Story. Remember Trevor Story with the Rockies last year?
Yes.
Start that he got off to, he hit 27. 1-2 on the way.
And Rodriguez upset with himself because he didn't get that fastball where they wanted it. They wanted a fastball up in the zone. Instead it stayed down and on the inside part of the plate. That's not the kind of mistake you want to make to Mancini. Going to try to go upstairs again.
And it worked. He strikes out 2 in the inning. Rodriguez sharp out of the gate. Red Sox up 4-0.
Join the Red Sox Foundation on Saturday, May 13th for the 3rd annual Bacon and Beer Fest at Fenway Park. Sample bacon-inspired dishes from more than 40 of Boston's best restaurants and beers from over 30 breweries. Best of all, the VIP event ticket includes a ticket to see the Sox game that night.
Morland swinging away immediately, pops this one into left field, and Gentry in on it for the first out.
And for tickets and info for the Bacon and Beer event, redsox.com/bacon.
Bacon, he said, and beer. Unbeatable combination.
Bacon and beer. And a ticket to the game.
Oh, man. Talking my language. Jackie Bradley 0 for 1 with a strikeout. When I was a kid, bacon was almost a delicacy, you know. Maybe once a month. You'd come down for Sunday breakfast and Mom would be there frying up some bacon, you know. And now it's everywhere. Everybody loves bacon. Everyone talks about bacon. I think there's bacon fragrances. Bunted down for Gausman. He'll throw on to first. Jackie Bradley looking to bunt his way on, but 2 down.
Yeah, trying to drop that down the third base line, but that ball got too close to the pitcher, and Gausman actually had a chance at it. You drop that ball down the line a little bit more. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you got a base hit. But I like the idea. You see them in the shift. When unfortunately he couldn't get it down that line a little bit more, he's got himself a base hit. I had bacon this morning.
He did. See?
I mean, every Sunday at the ballpark we have bacon and scrambled eggs or whatever.
Almost too much for me to handle. It's just delicious. And for a ball on Vasquez, Sandoval would be next.
I think they had some fancy, was it quiche they call it? Quiche?
Quiche is fancy. It's too fancy for me.
Yeah, I tried. It was pretty good.
Was it? Just the scrambled eggs and bacon guy. Coffee. Don't get me started in the morning. Quiche is a little highfalutin for me.
I didn't even know what it was, and then I saw it on the plate, and I said, I'm going to try this, and it was actually very, very good.
Glad to hear that. It's a little dangerous, though. As a life plan. I have no idea what it is, but I'm going to try it. Isn't it a little dangerous?
Is it dangerous?
No, I mean, you're a curious guy, so I know you're going to try it, but.
I haven't found it dangerous yet, so hopefully things will go well.
I hope. A game and a flight. It'll be good to get back home and have a day off. Ending Tuesday, the series with the Yankees. Red Sox are concluding a stretch today of 17 games in 17 days. And 30 out of 31. So a lot of guys on this club looking forward to that day. And a big homestand. Very exciting homestand. Bases empty, 2 away, and a 2-2 from Gausman. Vasquez in search of his first hit against this right-hander from Colorado. It was 3-4 lifetime against the Red Sox. Boston with back-to-back home runs by Betts and Ramirez in the first inning to take a 4-0 lead. Cut on and missed strike 3 as Vasquez fans for the second time. And that's all for the Red Sox. 4-0 Boston. Red Sox tickets has the best seats at the lowest prices to all games at Fenway. All with a 200% guarantee. Yankees and Cubs coming in. Ace Ticket has seats starting at only $39. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, Garen Austin with you here from Camden Yards. Clouded up a bit here. So the sun has disappeared. Rodriguez taking on the bottom third of the order. So far, he has 3 strikeouts and he has set down all 6 batters. This guy's a tough out. Wellington Castillo, 298. Last year in the daytime, he hit 329. Red Sox could really use an outing of length today. Drew Pomeranz went 5 1/3 in game 1. Stephen Wright 3 2/3 in game 2. The 1-1. High fly foul out of play.
Well, there hasn't been any problem with Rodriguez's control. We talked about the lack of work that he's had, but he's been right on target here in the first couple of innings.
He was at 95 in his 1 inning of relief in Toronto the other day. Blew that one right by Castillo to strike him out. 1 gone.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts on the day so far. All 4 have been on his fastball. Has not thrown a slider yet. A couple of change-ups, but mostly this, number 1.
There's 3 consecutive Ks going back to last inning. He gets Jonathan Scope now. Second baseman, 291 with 4 home runs already. Red Sox ahead 4-0. You mentioned Stephen Wright in the rough outing last night, although he started well. 3 innings where he pitched really well until he ran into those big bats of the Orioles. He was talking about last night after the game, going back to the kind of pitcher he was before the shoulder injury. As this one's popped into center field. Jackie Bradley plenty of time. 2 up and 2 down. And he was talking about since then how he's had to battle his way back to get that shoulder to 100%. He feels it is, but does not feel he can get the violent command and delivery of that knuckleball that he had previously. So that continues to be a problem and a work in progress for Steven.
Yeah, I think the other thing that could happen with him is maybe mix in a few more fastballs and curveballs, because he's got those weapons to work with also.
Right, a 13-game winner, an all-star last year. The Orioles have really been trouble for him. They are for a lot of teams. Hardy here, 241, a homer, 6 runs batted in. Bases are empty, 2 down. Rodriguez trying to start his outing today by retiring the first 9 men. Fly ball well hit. Benintendi is back there, and he is going to make that play for out number 3. Rodriguez cruising again through 3 innings. Lexus and the Lexus Strikes Out Hunger Program. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Your New England Audi dealers in the all-new 2018 Audi Q5. LL Bean, inspiring products designed for a reason. And by Subaru Retailers of New England. 4-0 Red Sox on to the fourth inning. Sandoval, Hernandez, Bogarts up against Kevin Gausman, a right-hander. Red Sox jumped him early. Bogarts and Benintendi back-to-back singles, and then Betts and Ramirez back-to-back homers. And Hanley Ramirez just missed a grand slam in the second inning, and that took Jones all the way to the one-inning track in straightaway center. And Gausman with the 0-2. Hot shot. Nice play by Davis. He'll go to the bag himself for the out.
Davis is a good first baseman. You know, you think of him as strictly a power hitter, but he throws the leather around pretty well down at first base. And right here makes a very, very nice play on Sandoval. That's a top spin ground ball. And you can see that second hop just explode on Davis, but he's able to have the quick hands and get the glove up. We always talk about working from the ground up with the glove, and that's the reason right there. Davis just takes it himself. Nice play.
Marco Hernandez to climb in 1-for-1 today as he singled to left field. You will see his former club coming to Fenway over the weekend, next weekend, the Chicago Cubs. Cubs gave away a lot of rings, didn't they?
I really don't know. I imagine they would after that, drought that they've had. That they certainly went all out.
Did. I think it was well over 1,000 rings.
1,000 rings?
Rings and pins. And they weren't all the players' rings, of course. 1-1, hammer to second base. Scope up and over to first. 2 up and 2 down.
Tonight, after game coverage on NESN Sports Today, we'll have highlights and reactions from Game 6 of the Bruins Senators playoff series. NESN Sports Today is presented by People's United Bank.
Xander Bogaerts 1 for 2, a single and a run. For his last 45 at bats or so, he's hitting about 350. Asking the home plate on Fletcher for time and going to get a new bat.
Yeah, it looked like the top of the bat was splintered, and he didn't notice that till he got the home plate. So takes it back. Looks like the cup and the bat at the top chipped. Just noticed it right there, and takes time out. Shows the umpire needs a new bat. Okay, go get one, Xander.
So the new stick, he's going to take a strike. Benintendi up next. Nobody on base. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orioles have been drawing pretty well, about 34,000 a game.
Yeah, nice crowds all weekend here in Baltimore. Even last night in kind of lousy conditions.
1-1 tried to check, but he did not. That's a swing and a miss at Alan Porter, and it counts 1-2. It was really miserable all day yesterday, causing a half-hour rain delay to game 2, but just chilly after that. Today much warmer, the 1-2 coming. Gausman had started off the mound there. He thought he had strike 3.
And so did Castillo, the catcher. He took kind of a step toward the dugout, too.
But 2-2. Another check swing. And he's worked it full. Gausman has walked only one man so far, and that was Betts. Very careful after Mookie had homered off him. The 3-2. And he has walked Bogarts. This has been a real problem for the right-hander. Second free pass today sends up Benintendi. Looking forward to the Yankees series, which begins on Tuesday. Rick Porcello gets the nod in Game 1 against Severino. Chris Sale against the Yankees on Wednesday night against Tanaka. And then on Thursday night, Drew Pomerantz against CC Sabathia. A 3-game series with the Yankees. Benintendi 2 for 2 with 2 singles so far today.
You know, it's interesting looking at this week coming up because, you know, everybody loves to get those Yankee Red Sox tickets. They get them early. But I'd imagine the Cub tickets went pretty quick.
Yes. Not often that the first series of the year at Fenway between the Yankees and the Red Sox is upstaged by another series. And that'll be the case, though, with the Cubs. Chris Sale, a 0.91 ERA going in on Wednesday. Coming off that 13 strikeout gem against Toronto. Two and one.
And Benintendi's sitting all over a fastball on the 2-0 count. Didn't get it. Got the changeup or the splitter, one of the two, and was out in front on it.
That homestand is against teams in first place or second place. All the clubs coming in. 2-1 and a high fly ball, and backing out is the shortstop Hardy. Still backing out there, and he dropped it. And everybody's going to be safe. Throw comes to second right by everybody. Benintendi's going to move up. Bogarts will hold at third base. And that was a mess for the Orioles.
Yeah, sure. That had to be handled. That was up there too long. And, you know, I thought Gentry was going to make a play on it, but J.J. Hardy felt like he could make the play. Take a look right here. There's Hardy with the over-the-shoulder attempt, and I don't think it even deflected off his glove. Now a throw comes into the infield, a bad throw, and that allows Benintendi to get into scoring position. And they're very fortunate, they're very lucky that Bogarts didn't score on that.
So it will be a base hit. Benintendi taking second on the error by Gentry in left field on the overthrow. So Mookie Betts will bat in this inning with 2 down and 2 men in scoring position. Home run and a walk so far for Mookie today. Betts now leading the ball club in RBIs. And again, 8 of them on this trip. As he'll look at a strike.
That's 2 pitches away from Betts. The first 2, 1 for a ball, 1 for a strike. I'd be very surprised if they came inside with a couple of men in scoring position. We'll see. If they do, it'd probably be way in.
Betts is 10 for 22 against Gausman. 2-1.
Back in the first inning, Betts gets that fastball down in his spot right there, and he just takes it out of the ballpark, pulling it as he normally does.
A 3-run shot. Gausman in some trouble again. High ground ball to third, and Machado to throw across the diamond to retire the side. So the Red Sox do not capitalize on that mistake. It's still 4-0 Sox here in the 4th inning. Get expert emergency care without leaving the ballpark at Fenway. The Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. The first aid station is behind section 12 on the lower concourse. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Red Sox. Visit bidmc.org. As mentioned, some clouds have started to move in as Rodriguez has been perfect so far. Goes after Craig Gentry for the second time. And we did see the grounds crew, the head of the grounds crew, gathering with a couple of the umpires in between this middle of the inning and looking up at the skies. Forecast a few days ago for today was terrible, but it improved dramatically. We had a lot of sunshine this morning.
Yeah, the latest report I got, it's supposed to rain later on today and then continue for the next couple of days here in Baltimore.
The 1-1. Gentry struck out looking in the first inning. Rodriguez has 4 Ks in the book. Sandoval close at third. And a strike.
That's a generous call right there. That goes in the way of Rodriguez, which is a good thing. That ball looked to be a little bit low.
Adam Jones on deck, and the 2-2. Just got a piece of it. Right now experiencing a little difficulty with our pitch zone technology. Trying to get that corrected for you. And the 2-2. He has run it full on Gentry. Gentry with a career stolen base percentage about 86% should he get on. Mookie Betts very shallow in right field. On Gentry, the 3-2, and he walked him. So he becomes the first base runner here today for the Orioles.
Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. TC, Jim Rice, and Steve Lyons will break down Eduardo Rodriguez's start. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but WB Mason.
Jones next. He is flying to center. 0 for 1 here today. And Machado after him. Red Sox in the lead 4-0. They have out-hit the Orioles 7-0. Ball 1.
A couple of sliders now that Rodriguez has tried. The last pitch to Gentry was a slider. That was a slider that was kind of hanging outside the plate. Those are the first 2 I believe that he's featured in the game today.
Nobody out, a man on for the first time today for the Orioles. That's a strike. Yep, it was 78 years ago today, April 23, 1939, that Ted Williams hit his first major league home run. Did it against Philadelphia's Bud Thomas. And a 1-0 pitch from the left-hander. Ted did not stop there. He went 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Two and 1 on Jones. Red Sox had double play depth up the middle, and the throw to first base will move Gentry back in.
Gentry with 1 steal on the season has not been caught yet.
And to this point in the game, Eduardo Rodriguez has been breezing. And the 2-1 to the 5-time All-Star. 2-2. Sox will not be back here in Baltimore until June. First week of June on a long road trip. The Orioles coming back to Fenway on the next homestand. Left-hander slowing things up a little bit with a man on base.
Wants to elevate the fastball here.
Runner goes, and a high fly foul out of play. So they had Gentry on the move. Two and two on Jones. Gentry impressive with that stolen base percentage. Rodriguez eyeing his 5th strikeout today. Spoiled again by Adam Jones. Red Sox have won each of Rodriguez's 3 starts here at Camden Yards. That was all last year. During one stretch, he recorded a streak of 29 consecutive outs without allowing a hit in this ballpark. They don't have a hit off him yet today. Into the 4th inning. Here comes the 2-2. Another full count.
That shoulder flying wide open that time, and the ball just sailing up and away from Jones. To keep that front shoulder in as a pitcher. Heading directly toward home plate. Flies open. Ball seems to go up and tail away.
See if Gentry's taken off again here. Back in once more. It was in the 4th inning where the Orioles really started to swing the bats last night. They hit 2 home runs. They scored 4 times. That proved to be enough. They won the game 4-2. Runner holding this time. And swung on and missed. He got him. He struck him out.
See what the pitch is right there. It looks like the changeup from Rodriguez. To pick up the strikeout. But for a number of fastballs and high fastballs, he comes back with a changeup. It wasn't real low. It was out over the plate, but off speed enough to fool Adam Jones.
Number 5 for Rodriguez, and every time a Red Sox pitcher strikes out an Oriole player, Lexus donates $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. So man out for Machado. There's been a center of controversy, certainly on the Red Sox side of things, after the spiking of Dustin Pedroia, which he said was unintentional. Dustin Pedroia has refused to get involved in any of it. He said, "I'm not the baseball police." But he's going to miss the rest of the series unless he can get in today, and that's highly unlikely. Red Sox want him to continue to rest that leg.
Now this is the controversial play that happened in the first game of this series. The high cleats right here, as you can see, and then past the bag, and Pedroia down with the knee.
Oh-2 and hammered into the ground. Bogart's there. Little bobble, but got it in there in time for the forced play at second base to retire the runner.
Looked like that was going to be a double play to end the inning, but Bogarts had a tough time getting a grip on the baseball, a handle on it. He wanted to underhand the ball to Hernandez at second base, but you see it roll up his arm, and he just barely gets it there in time. Quick hands by Bogarts here to get that ball back and get it flipped to the second baseman to get the force out.
So Machado at first base with 2 away for Trumbo, who's 0 for 1 with a pop to short. sun coming back out here in Baltimore. Red Sox up 4-0. Machado is a terrific player. I mean, he's got a Hall of Fame written all over him with his ability. And I know that the way it's been reported here in Baltimore is 100% different than the way it's been reported in Boston.
Sure, of course. All Machado would say is, look at the replay. I tried to hold him up.
Yep. And there is truth in that. After he spiked him unintentionally, he says, of course, and no reason to think it was intentional. He says, I have a great deal of respect for Dustin Pedroia. Would never try and do something like that to him.
Would you expect him to say anything different than that?
I would not. I would not. And he's had controversy before. Incidents with the Oakland A's several years ago seemed to calm things down. Last couple of years. Big cut and a miss by Trumbo.
Well, a very late swing that time by Trumbo. Trumbo so far against Rodriguez in his career 0 for 12.
Vasquez out for a chat here. With a count 1-2, 2 down. Trumbo leading the majors with 47 home runs last year. Just a perfect fit, this ballpark for him, as it can play like a bandbox. And he has outstanding power.
Back upstairs with the fastball, it looks like.
Hot shot foul.
Did not get that pitch where he wanted to. Vasquez wanted the ball up. That ball stayed about belt high, and Trumbo hit it hard, but in foul territory. See Vasquez going up in his crouch. He wanted that high fastball, but it didn't get up in that area. See what he calls for here. Just shook his head is all he did. They went with the exact same pitch.
So no sign was given, but he knew the sign.
See Vasquez going upstairs again. He's committed to it. Because the 4 fingers there may have meant a throw to first base too. He gave that once early in the ball game, and Rodriguez didn't throw over there. Now they're going back to the changeup.
On the 1-2 to Trumbo. Machado, the runner at first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. All the scoring in the game to this point came in the top of the first. Red Sox exploding for 4.
Back up to the attic. Man, can't get that ball and can't get that pitch up, and you see the frustration from Vasquez behind the plate.
So Rodriguez taking a little walk.
Once again, they want the high one, but it comes down and in. Three-two change.
A bullet, but foul. He jumped all over that pitch, but he pulled it. So they will do 3-2 again with 2 down, and Machado on the move.
And Vasquez on the move also, out to talk with Rodriguez, see what they want to do here, what his choice is. Fastball changeup. We have not seen too many sliders. I believe 2 so far in the game. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Vasquez does not even put down a sign. They've already decided what they want to throw. We'll see. No sign. They've made the decision.
Payoff again, and he drops in a beauty. He went back to the breaking ball to freeze him, and he strikes out Trumbo. Top 5, and Hanley Ramirez to lead things off. The Red Sox in a lead 4-0. He has crushed a home run that traveled 429 feet in the first inning. So even longer than Jackie Bradley's home run last night, which went 420 onto Utah. And then Hanley just missed a grand slam in the second inning as he flied to the warning track in center. He grounds this one right at Hardy at short for a fast out.
To end last inning, they decide on a slider, a pitch that Rodriguez has not thrown very much in this game, and completely fools Trumbo on it. Trumbo actually had a very nice at bat, fouling off a lot of pitches, and then eventually Rodriguez winning the battle with that breaking ball.
His 6th strikeout today. Now Mitch Morland, who has grounded out, flied out, 0 for 2. So far 0 for 9 in the series. Gausman certainly has been fortunate on a couple of occasions to get out of innings since that first inning without any more runs being scored against him.
Yeah, this could easily be like an 8-0 game right now.
Red Sox have all the hits, all 7. 2-0. Morland did come into the game with a .390 on base percentage. He and Chris Young co-leaders in walks on the club with 8. Gausman has walked 2 men. He's fallen behind here. A strike.
Catchers look at a lot of different things behind the plate. They look at, obviously they peek up to see if the hitter is looking back or peeking back for signs or location. They're always checking the feet of the hitter, see if they're moving on certain counts, if they're opening up a little bit. That means they're looking for something inside. A lot going on behind the plate.
High fly dead away center field. Jones backing up all the way to the wall, leaping, went for it and he missed it, and that ball's gone. Mitch Morland with his 2nd home run of the season, and the Red Sox lead it 5-0.
Now this is awfully nice to see from the Red Sox offense. Their home run output has not been very good at all. Last in the league, and 3 of them here this afternoon. Straight away center field for Morland. And Adam Jones makes a heck of an effort here as he's playing back. He's trying to time his leap. He does, but they can't get the leather on it. And the Red Sox put another one on the board. See Jones right there. He's made some spectacular catches jumping over that fence there, but that ball out of reach.
So 3 Red Sox home runs today. It's been a while in coming. And they show up with the home run swings here this afternoon. Betts, Ramirez, and Morland.
3, 4, 5 hitters in the Red Sox lineup.
JBJ with 1 last night. 1-1. Took a big swing, got a piece of it. Jackie is 0 for 2. He has struck out, tried to bunt his way on. Red Sox trying to grab a win here, salvage a victory in the series, and go 3-3 on the trip. Fly ball right at Jones for the second out. Stay tuned after the 3rd out of this half inning for the mid-5th studio show. It's presented by GMC with TC, Jim Rice, and Steve Lyons. Number 2 for Morland. Continues to pile up the extra base hits. Christian Vasquez now 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. It's always a pleasure on a long homestand to turn around like in the 3rd or 4th inning, and there's TC seated up behind us munching on a Dunkin' Donut delivered to our booth fresh every day. TC knows the moment they're coming,
but very much into the game. Even though he's having a cup of coffee and a donut, he's got that scorecard going. He's got all the stats out, the computer going.
He doesn't miss anything, including the donuts. 1-2. I don't know how he keeps so fit.
Because he's a runner. Every time I call him, he's on a treadmill.
Two down, a run in. Here comes the 1-2. Throws his bat at it. Down he goes, strike 3. But the Red Sox score again. Mitch Morland with a blast to center. And TC open up a 5-0 lead here in Baltimore. Thanks, guys. Time now for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Major League Baseball rookie home run leaders, and Aaron Judge of the Yankees is up to 6. Trey Mancini of these Orioles has hit 5. 4 guys locked up at number 3. And of course Benintendi with the 1 home run, but he has 3 hits today. Red Sox with a 5-0 lead. Rodriguez almost perfect. Only 1 base runner. That was Gentry with the walk in the 4th inning. And now it's going to be Davis, Mancini, and Castillo all for the 2nd time against the Red Sox left-hander. As we go to the last half of the 5th inning. Davis caught looking at a 3rd strike in the 2nd inning, so he's 0 for 1. One ball and 1 strike. Davis has hit 3 home runs so far for a team that led the big leagues in home runs last year. 2-1. Eduardo today working with Christian Vasquez, who sets up outside. It's exactly where he wanted it. 2-2. Davis has been up to bat 62 times and has struck out on 24 occasions. 3-2. And Eduardo with a 3-2 pitch to the first baseman. And a line shot into right field. That'll be their first hit of the day. And it comes starting off the 5th.
Almost every time Davis makes contact, it's that top spin action that he has on the ball because he has that uppercut swing. And you'll see this ball just kind of take off as he hits it's almost like he hits the top of the baseball, and it just really dives down very quickly. That line shot, as you can see, dropping in well before he gets to Mookie Betts, so he defeats the shift. Hits right through the shift.
Sends up Mancini, who is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Homered again last night in the Oriole victory. Red Sox over the years have played well here at Camden Yards. This is the 25-year anniversary of this wonderful ballpark. They've gone 118-86 here, tied with the Yankees for the highest winning percentage among all American League teams, including Baltimore, since it opened in 1992. Two and 1.
Consistently, that fastball been about 93 miles an hour. He's got as high as 95 with it today.
And has helped him to 6 Ks, including 1 of Mancini. Nobody out. Davis at first base. 5-0 Red Sox. Swing and a miss. That one ate him up.
Yeah, very good changeup by Rodriguez. And a nice job mixing up his pitches, and occasionally now mixing in a slider, but that time the changeup down out of the strike zone.
A terrific breaking ball to Fan Trumbo last inning. Castillo on deck. He got him.
Oh, that's good. That's a great changeup right there again. Back to back, doubles up on it. This one, the best one. 2 strikes. You got to think about swinging at it. You have to swing at it. You can't take it. And watch the bottom fall out of that. Great changeup there by Rodriguez.
Working so well with Vasquez today. 7 strikeouts for Eduardo.
He's thrown 18 changeups on the day. 9 of them have been for strikes, and some have been swung at that have not been strikes.
Castillo whiffed his last time up. He's 0 for 1. Starts him with a changeup.
Yep, Cambio again.
Orioles with just 1 hit today. Red Sox have 8, and 3 of them have gone over the fence. You say the exit velocity on a home run by Hanley Ramirez was 110 miles an hour. That's what we had it in the booth too. 110, 111.
I got to say that stat doesn't interest me very much. Exit velocity.
Well, no, I know it doesn't.
You know, as long as it gets over the fence, it counts for the same amount, no matter how hard and how fast it gets over the fence.
I realize there are people who like it, people who could care less.
Yeah.
It's for your consumption. Shattered bat. Plucked by Hernandez. He'll go to second. On to first. Not in time for a double play as the bat came apart. And there are 2 down. As that play goes 4-6.
Baseball is back at Fenway, and before you know it, the sounds of the Plainridge Park Casino Fenway Concert Series will be too. Limited tickets remain for James Taylor with Bonnie Raitt on August 11th. Get your tickets now at redsox.com/James Taylor.
That's a terrific show.
I feel fun when I see rain. Seen lonely days I thought would never end. It's all part of the promo. It's on the promo.
It's on the promo. Jerry sings.
Said sing. Jerry sings. So
Fire and rain.
I don't know.
Yep, fire and rain. Scope 0 for 1 with a fly to center. Nothing quite like your Beatles catalog, which is off the charts. And, you know, I encourage you, if you ever get an invitation to our booth, make sure you get here to pregame when Jerry is doing the Beatles, because he'll do it every single game, and you can actually sing that stuff.
Well, I can't sing it. I know the words to it.
That's what I mean.
My voice is not quite what you know, McCartney and Lennon were, but
well,
you know,
okay.
I do have quite a repertoire of songs that
you know the words.
And you know, the amazing thing about the Beatles is the fact that they had so many hits, and you can not hear a song for 10 years and hear it and you know the words. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's how I get motivated for the game.
That's how you get up.
Yeah. And I've even had you sing. I've had you singing it too.
Which is very unfortunate. And the crew would rather not that continue. And that's going to be high for ball 4. So Scope is on. And he'll have a runner down to second base as well. First and second, 2 away. The second walk issued by Rodriguez today, and now he'll get J.J. Hardy, the number 9 man. You got to be careful with him.
Just to tie in, the James Taylor concert, which is going to be huge at Fenway Park. James Taylor was originally signed by Apple Records and the Beatles.
Is that right?
Yeah. So that's how he got to start.
OB, you guys were putting on quite a show yesterday. I actually had to videotape it and post it on Twitter. I was highly impressed with your Beatles duo.
You taped that?
I did. I recorded it and posted it on Twitter.
Oh boy.
I think that breaks about 500 international laws.
You guys
Karen.
knew that I was recording. You guys are great.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Great is very, very, very kind of you. 2 on for Hardy now. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to left. First sign of any trouble for Rodriguez so far here today. And Vasquez again. These two communicate frequently. He's back out to the hill. Rodriguez, of course, a former Baltimore Oriole farmhand. And has had some of his best outings of his young career right here at Camden Yards. The 1-0. That one golfed high and deep down the left field line. Benintendi crossing into foul ground, lunges and makes the play. He kept on after it right up against the fence, and that retires the side. 2 men left. 5-0 Red Sox. On to the 6th inning here. Red Sox up 5-0 in Baltimore. Sandoval, Hernandez, Bogarts as Gosman stays on to pitch. Pablo today 0 for 2. He has grounded out twice. Been a good day for the home run for the Red Sox. They've hit 3 of them. 2 of those came in the first inning. Back-to-back Betts and Hanley Ramirez. Which Morland added a 3rd in the 5th inning, a solo shot to center. And a very, very busy sports day for New Englanders. Bruins in action, Celtics in action, Red Sox starting today. He's got it covered. Off the outside, ball 4. So Sandoval is on to begin the 6th.
Well, tonight at 7, don't miss the Ultimate Red Sox show presented by AAA. And that's an exclusive all access with Sandy Leone and Plays of the Week. That's tonight at 7 only on NESN.
The base runner for Marco Hernandez, who singled his first time up. 1 for 2. Marco getting a lot of playing time here in the early part of the season, and he's hitting over 300 with 2 RBIs. He's done a good job defensively too. And now Castillo to the hill. Gosman's pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 8 hits allowed, 5 earned. Oriole pitching had been tougher than anticipated until today in the series.
Yeah, Gosman actually has settled down since the first inning. Obviously a very rough start, and then kind of settled down in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then of course the home run in the 5th inning by Morland. But his numbers have been awful so far this season. This has to be a little bit encouraging for him.
He came in with 7.23 ERA and a ton of walks for a guy who's been a control pitcher. I'll tell you what, that play by Benintendi down the left field line cannot be underrated. 2 men on, Rodriguez for the first time scuffling a bit. It's a tough play right up against the stands, and it's out number 3 to end the inning and end the threat. 2-0 fouled back to the screen.
Yeah, Benintendi, you know, going all the way. You can see right here he's having a little trouble judging just where that ball's going to be, but makes the play going up against the short fence out there in left field and foul territory.
He does not make that catch. The inning's still alive for Hardy with 2 men on. He's a home run threat. It's the little things. Sandoval at first base, nobody out. 2-2.
Just challenged them right here with the fastball about belt high to get the swing and miss.
Bogart's on deck. And the 2-2. Line shot off the glove of the pitcher. The play at second. He shovels and gets him.
Wow.
So Sandoval retired. That was a bullet by Hernandez.
How about that play by Gausman? I mean, a rocket right back at him. He knocks down, he chases it down, and he gets the force out at second base. I mean, that ball was right at his head. He got the glove up to knock it down, and then has the presence of mind to go get it and still get it out. Sandoval had to stop in case it was caught. But that's pretty impressive right there by Gausman.
It'll be the last pitch he throws here this afternoon as Showalter is out to get him. Does pitch into the 6th. The way it started, that's a bit of a surprise. Red Sox do get 5 off him. And the Orioles skipper will go to the bullpen. 5-0 Boston. You can submit a video showing personality edited into a commercial, and the top video airs as a Red Sox commercial on NESN, and a winning fan gets $1,000 plus a visit to our broadcast booth. Go to NESNnext.com and upload your video today. Like Showalter dips into the bullpen, it'll be Stefan Crichton to make an appearance. Made his major league debut in the middle of the month, April 16th at Toronto. He was at Double-A last year, right-hander, to take on Xander Bogaerts. The runner at first goes, the pitch high, and the throw, the tag, and he's going to be out. That cuts down the runner. So Hernandez, not a close play at second base, and they're 2 away.
Not a real good jump at first base by Hernandez right there. They're going on the first pitch, as you can see here, but you see the little delay right there, and that really cost him at second base. And we talked about it earlier. Castillo behind the plate, excellent in throwing out base runners. That throw was right there waiting for him. There's the quick release, almost like a pitch out for Castillo.
Bogaerts on the day, 1 for 2 with a base hit. He singled and scored in the first inning. He also took a walk in the 4th inning. they'll look at a ball outside.
Fastball at 95 miles an hour.
Benintendi on deck. He'll be looking for his 4th hit today. A strike. So Gausman departing after 5 1/3. As he got into the 6th inning. 3-1 popped up. That'll be back out of play. Gausman giving up 8 hits and 5 runs, 3 homers. Red Sox jumped him in the 1st inning for 4. And now the 3-2 pitch from Crichton. Ground ball, that's going to get through. Past Machado for a base hit. 2nd hit today for Xander Bogaerts.
Well, Bogart's doing the job as a leadoff man today. On base 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. Gets this one right by Machado at 3rd base. So let's see if Bogarts tries it with 2 outs, or they just let Benintendi go for the long ball. We'll see.
Red Sox offense returning to form today. They have 9 hits. Benintendi 3 for 3 with the 3 singles. That one gets away from the catcher Castillo, and Bogaerts will advance to 2nd without a throw.
Now Castillo expecting the ball inside, but that went way inside and hit the bottom of his glove. Very unusual to see that.
Should be a pass ball.
I would agree with you, because he was set up in there and it was supposed to be inside. It was, and he couldn't handle it.
Benintendi trying to pick up an RBI. Shot down the right field line. That's headed for the wall. Into the fence. Bogaerts will score easily. Benintendi is caught up. The run does come in to score as he is tagged out. Run scored easily. So that counts. Benintendi with another hit today. That makes it 6-0. First 4-hit game of his career.
Tuesday at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. TC, Jim Rice, and Steve Lyons will preview Red Sox starter Rick Porcello. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Underway here in the last half of the 6th inning. Eduardo Rodriguez has been terrific. He's allowed just 1 hit. He has struck out this man, Gentry. Also walked him in the 4th inning. The top of the order here for Baltimore. And Rodriguez trying to fashion a shutout today. Only base hit, a single by Chris Davis in the 5th inning. So if the Red Sox can win, they will go home 3-3 on this road trip. And the 2-1 will miss. Last inning, the only sign of trouble for Eduardo in this contest. Gave up a base hit. He walked a man. Got out of that unscathed. He does walk Gentry for the 2nd time. Time for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. Tom, thank you very much. Tampa Bay at 10-9. They're in 4th place. Baltimore leading the pack in the AL East at 12-4. And the Yankees and the Sox, Toronto still in the basement at 4-13. There's Adam Jones. He's gone 0 for 2.
Tries something different there to get a strike. He goes back to a slider.
Jones is fly to center and struck out. Gentry at first with nobody away. That one tomahawked down the left field line, but he yanked it foul.
Jones got that fastball up in the zone and a little bit in, out in front of it. You think Vasquez wants this pitch up in the zone? He might try to pick him off first.
Shot toward the alley. Bradley trying to chase it down. Oh, what a play and a tumbling catch. Back to first base, Gentry.
And it's amazing, you know, for a couple of days you watch other people play center field, then you watch Jackie Bradley, and that's totally different. This ball here was slicing away from Bradley off the bat of Jones. And he is able to regroup right there, cut across, and make the play. See, he started to go back, then he comes back in, and he's able to make the play, roll over, and check that run and get him back to first base. I mean, this Red Sox outfield defense is pretty special.
One down from Machado. He's gone 0 for 2. Plays like that will keep Jackie Bradley in the conversation all year for a Gold Glove. Got to unseat Kiermaier at Tampa Bay to win that as the center fielder. 2-0. Eduardo now at 90 pitches for the afternoon. Just 1 hit off him. Red Sox with a 6-0 cushion. Has to move those feet again, and the count goes to 3-0. Trumbo on deck. Gentry at first, being held by Morland, his former teammate at Texas. Now lefty trying to come all the way back here from 3-0. But he walks him. So over the last couple of innings, he's walked 3 men. And Trumbo will be in next. Upgrade your day with DD Perks. You can earn a free beverage when you enroll and speed past the line with on-the-go ordering. DD Perks, everyone deserves an upgrade. Download the Dunkin' app today. Speeding past the line may not be possible at all locations. So 2 walks here in the 6th. And Trumbo, who's gone 0 for 2, he has popped to short and struck out. Rodriguez got him with a slider looking in the 4th inning. One thing that the left-hander has not induced today is a double play. He would love one right here. And fires in, ball 1.
That was actually a good pitch right there. That was a changeup. Trying to find a pitch that will work. He goes to the changeup right at the bottom of the strike zone, but he doesn't get the call.
Gentry at second, Machado at first, and the 1-0. A strike.
Same location. Actually, that ball a little bit lower than the changeup.
Rodriguez pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 7 Ks, 4 walks, but just 1 hit. And the Red Sox have scored for him today. Eduardo just turned 24, fires and fouled back.
Left that changeup up in the middle of the plate, but fortunately Rodriguez, Trumbo fouls it back. Well, that was dead center at about 87 miles an hour.
Red Sox coming home for a Tuesday date with the Yankees. Rick Porcello on the hill. Chris Sale on Wednesday and Drew Pomerantz on Thursday against the Pinstripes. Yankees will counter with Severino, Tanaka, and Sabathia. Sabathia's been pitching well, 2-1, a 2.70 ERA. And 1-2. Popped up. Right there on the plate, Vasquez, he's got it. 2 down.
Trumbo very frustrated as he lets that bat fly. He got jammed on an inside high fastball. And it was the bat's fault.
I'm not sure he can hit a baseball that softly. Only got up about 35-40 feet. And Chris Davis has gone 1 for 2 with a base hit and a strikeout. He's the only man to have a hit against Eduardo Rodriguez on the day. Runners on at first and second. Last couple of innings, that pitch count has been going up for Eduardo. He's at 96 now. Red Sox don't have anybody throwing in the bullpen yet. Ball 1. Vasquez found it quickly, so no advance by the runners.
Yeah, the control hasn't been as pinpoint in this inning as it has been throughout the ball game. Maybe showing signs of a little fatigue. At this point, he's pitched a terrific game.
Davis goes up there every time looking to hit it onto Utah. Checked his swing, and that missed for ball 2.
That didn't miss. That was a good pitch. There's been a couple in this inning, and you know, I mean, I'd say the same for both sides. I mean, that's a good pitch.
Looks like a strike. But Andy Fletcher thought not. And the count 2-0. Gentry and Machado leading away. Big cut and miss. 2-1.
Yeah, thinking about one thing on the 2-0 count, and that's a 3-run homer to get him back in the ball game. Fastball down, out over the plate. That lift swing by Davis.
Rodriguez with a long stretch and out at 2-1. Vasquez up gunning down to second, but not in time.
You knew it was going to come at some point. I mean, you just can't go a game without trying to pick somebody off either first base or second base or third base. You see Bogart's covering because they're in the shift against Davis. So that doesn't have to be a prearranged play right there. That's just Bogart's paying attention to Vasquez, the catcher. If he throws, he's got plenty of time to get there from his position.
A dangerous count here. 3-1 on Davis. With 2 men aboard, 2 down. Lets it go, and he walks in, so the bases are going to be loaded. He's walked 3 men in this inning. That'll probably bring out Willis. Yep, it will. Here comes Carl.
You know, to me, it looks like he's cooked. You know, he's had trouble with his control this inning. He did get squeezed on a pitch, but he doesn't seem to have that same flow that he had in the first 5 innings.
Red Sox do have Joe Kelly just beginning to warm up. He's thrown 5 or 6 at this point. The batter is going to be Trey Mancini, the young phenom, who has ripped 5 home runs already in the early going.
You can see right there Willis having a little conversation with Fletcher, the home plate umpire. They're probably about, you know, a couple of the calls that they felt should have gone his way, but didn't. Just you know, one of those pitches. This is dangerous right here.
Even though Mancini has struck out twice today, 5 homers, 11 RBIs for the young DH. And no place to put him. Gentry at third, Machado at second, Davis at first. And they all walk to get there. And that's ball 1.
Yeah, tries the changeup on the first pitch, misses down.
Here's pitch number 103 from Eduardo Rodriguez. That one disappeared.
Yeah, back-to-back changeups. That time to the outside part of the plate. He struck him out on a changeup last at bat.
And he can leave everything on the mound here. The 1-1. 1-2.
Stays with the changeup again. And that's a pitch that Mancini has had some difficulties with against Rodriguez today. He's not picking it up well.
Gentry at third, Machado the runner at second, Davis at first. Rodriguez trying to escape. A walk on the wild side in the inning. Here's the 1-2. Foul back.
Got that one up to 96. I mean, he knows he's working to, you know, probably his last hitter in this ball game, and got the fastball up to 96 right there.
Attempting to strike out Mancini for the 3rd time today. Bases loaded, 2 down, and the 1-2 coming. Popped him up foul off to the right. and out of play.
He's going to back-to-back fastballs. Let's see if he goes back to the pitch he's made him look bad on, and that's the changeup. Tied him up inside that time, up above the belt. 7 of 11 pitches today to Mancini have been changeups. Will he go to it here?
Trying to leave him loaded here in the 6th inning. The 1-2. 2-2. Rodriguez has walked 4. He has struck out 7. Just the 1 hit off him all afternoon. 2-2. Line shot caught by Sandoval. Actually dropped now on to second and gets him to retire the side. So he gets out of it despite a wicked line drive, and they leave him loaded. 6-0 Boston.
Welcome back to Camden Yards. It's the top of the 7th. The Red Sox have a 6-0 lead. I was talking with hitting coach Chili Davis the other day, and he said with Mookie Betts, it's a process. He said everyone will think Mookie's doing really well, but Mookie won't think he's doing really well. Davis said that with Betts, it's all about feel, and once he locks into a feel, then his game plan and his trusts are strong, and that's when he'll give you quality at bats. Davis said that when Betts had those 3 days off due to illness, he came back, he didn't feel like he was on time, he didn't trust his hands, and even if he got a hit, he didn't like it. Guys, Davis said that Betts is exactly what you want in a player. He works to find precision, and once he finds it, he wants to repeat it.
Well, today a 3-run homer back in the 1st inning, Garen.
That was a lot to get in there.
He was also walked and grounded out to third base. Red Sox with a 6-0 lead. 10 hits on the board. Chili's got to be delighted with that. And that'll make it through for a base hit. His 2nd knock today. So he is 2 for 3. Betts quickly aboard to begin the 7th inning in front of Hanley Ramirez. Hanley blasting a home run in the 1st. Just missing a home run in the 2nd, which would have been a grand slam. Deep to center field of the warning track where Jones caught it. And he has since grounded to short. So Hanley fighting his way out of a cold spell on this road trip. And he will eye ball 1.
Back in the first inning, Hanley getting a breaking ball on the first pitch, and that was out before Hanley got halfway to first base. Hanley knows where the camera. He really does.
Every time, yeah. Likes to play to that camera. Especially after he hits one 429 feet. 10 career home runs against the Orioles. Mookie at first base. Mookie does have 3 stolen bases. Not running. Ground ball to short. Hardy will go to second base. Out number 1. And they will turn to double play. So 2 down. 6-4-3 for Baltimore.
You know, we talk about the new rules on sliding into second base, and there's one, in my opinion, right there that if you didn't have those rules, that would not have been a double play, because Mookie would have been able to take out Jonathan Schoop at second base. Now watch how he has to go in. Now, you know, you go to the right to make the play. He's right on top of Schoop, but he's got to stop. You know, to me, that's one where you should be able to make. I'm not saying, you know, you don't slide and you go by the bag and all that stuff, but you should be able to make some kind of contact with him, and that probably would not have been a double play. Watch Mookie how he has to slide and just pretty much stop. That's it. He's almost like trying to get out of the way of the second baseman, where it used to be the other way. The second baseman was trying to get out of the way of the runner.
Yeah, it's now become a very delicate matter, when for about 100 years it was anything but.
Absolutely.
Morland with a home run. He's also flied out and grounded out. So the question for you is, you saw it happen with Utley and Tejada during the playoffs, and a broken leg and all that. That's why the rule was instituted. Would you love to see it just taken off the books?
I would. I like the idea where you have to be able to touch the bag with some part of your body, whether it be a hand, your foot. I think that's reasonable. The rolling blocks, that should be illegal. There's no question about that. There's no room for that at second base. But the way it is now, to me, it just, I don't know. It just, it's so easy to make a double play.
Again, Dustin Pedroia was asked about it after the spiking incident several times, and I think Pedroia is right in line with you in that he doesn't care about the rule.
No,
doesn't even want to know what the rule is.
You know, there was a time where it was out of control. I mean, you didn't have to touch second base, you didn't have to do anything, you didn't have to slide. It was totally out of control. Then they made the rule where you've got to get part of your body to the bag. I thought that was fair. I thought that was fair for both sides. It still gave you a chance to make contact, to take out one of the middle infielders, you know, and it still gave the middle infielders a chance to, you know, to do their thing.
2-2.
I don't know. It's just one I'm having trouble with. Maybe I'd feel differently if I was playing, but I think if you ask most second basemen and shortstop, they will agree that this is like gone too far.
How about the home plate collision rule? Do you think that's a good rule?
You know, I do, because we haven't seen many of those really terrible collisions at home plate.
3-2 sock foul by Morland. A home run for him in the 6th.
And you know, the rule always had been you're not supposed to impede the runner trying to come in if you don't have the ball in your glove. And it got to a point where everybody was just, you know, blocking home plate when the ball wasn't even close to the catcher, and it was hard to get in there. And you know, you saw some pretty nasty collisions.
Jackie Bradley would hit next to give it a chance. Red Sox up 6-0. And stroke the other way, coming on Gentry, and he botches that one. That drops in for a base hit. Knocked it down. And Morland has his second hit today. So he had been hitless in the series, and now 2 for 4. So he's come alive again.
Yeah, does a nice job going to the opposite field, and a nice job out there by Gentry too, as he keeps that ball in front of him and keeps Morland out of scoring position.
Buck Showalter out. So he has lifted his reliever. And he's going to bring on Nuno out of his bullpen. So another. $50 million the next 5 years to extend their commitment to helping people lead tobacco-free lives and move us one step closer toward a tobacco-free generation. Learn more at cbshealth.com/be-the-first. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and Garrett Austin here from Camden Yards, where the Red Sox have a 6-0 lead. Jackie Bradley about to step in against the new pitcher, Vidal Nuno. Spent last season with Seattle. And 12 holds last year. As he fires ball one on Jackie. He's gone 0 for 3. Much different story for the Red Sox offense here in game 3. And knocked foul in the air out of play to the left by Jackie Bradley. If the Sox should pull off a win here today, they will head home 11-8. They will split the 6 games on this trip. They won the series in Toronto. To the right side, Scope will gather that on to first base to retire the side. We're going to keep it inside the ballpark here for God Bless America. Stay right here at beautiful Camden Yards in Baltimore.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the 7th inning stretch. Today, we honor those members of our extended Orioles community from all walks of life, occupations, and diverse backgrounds
Time of the Geico Red Sox moment honoring the 07 Red Sox World Championship season. Game number 19 of the year. Red Sox would lose 10-3 to Roy Halladay and the Blue Jays. Mike Lowell paced the Red Sox offense with his 4th home run of the season. Roy Halladay was a great pitcher back then. He was right in his prime. Some would say a Hall of Famer one day. Matt Barnes is going to take over now. His 9th appearance of the year. Joe Kelly had been warming up, but Barnes joined him, and now he will enter the fray here with the Red Sox up 6-0. And Steve Selski takes over at third base. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, defensive change here for the Red Sox late in the game at third base.
Replacing Pablo Sandoval. So Barnes will get the bottom third of the order now for the Orioles, who have just 1 hit. As Eduardo Rodriguez really locked him up over 6. Maybe tired a little bit with the 4 walks, most of those late in the game, but he struck out 7. And he's in line for the victory. Castillo is 0 for 2. Barnes so far in 8 2/3 innings has 10 strikeouts. And Matt with 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer. And the Red Sox, between the pitching and the offense, have really quieted this crowd for the Orioles. That's in for a strike. Scope on deck. Red Sox got 4 right away in the top of the 1st inning. Another one in the 5th, another in the 6th. And they've hit 3 home runs. Little flare. Out goes Hernandez. Betts coming on. Mookie playing shallow anyway, and he's there to make the play for the out. So 1 man gone. And it'll send up Jonathan Scope, their second baseman. Orioles right back at Fenway Park on May 1st for a 4-game series, all night games. They follow the Cubs, who follow the Yankees on the upcoming homestand. Scope on the day with a fly to center. He's also taking ball 4. He pops that one up off first base, but foul and out of play. Scope with excellent power. His numbers against Barnes, 4 for 7. In fact, he has hit back-to-back home runs with Trey Mancini twice. And both of those have come against the Red Sox. Scope with 59 home runs as a second baseman since the start of 2014.
Yeah, one of those at Fenway Park, one here at in Baltimore. The back-to-back.
Barnes trying to fan him. Here comes the 1-2. He thought about it, checked his swing, the appeal, and no, says Porter. 2-2.
By design, they want to go upstairs with the fastball. Almost had Scope going. Started the swing, but clearly checked it. Looks like they're going to try it again.
2-2, and he will flare that one down to right field line. Morland, a long run, but off into the stands. You know, NESN is looking for youth baseball and softball teams to be a part of our live studio audience for NESN Clubhouse. Enter your son or daughter's team by visiting NESNClubhouse.com. Click the studio audience button and your chance to win this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. down, bases empty here for the Orioles in the 7th. Sox up by 6. Rattled to the left side, and there's Selsky. First chance, close play, safe. Scope beat it up the line, and he beat Selsky's throw, according to first base umpire Alan Porter.
Yeah, there's a case of an infielder not really knowing the speed of the hitter at the plate. Now the ball's not hit very hard, and you can see the extra step that Selsky took, and that cost him at first base. Gets in front of the ball all right, but then it was like a double crow hop, and that was the difference.
However, Red Sox are going to review this.
Yeah, let's take a look at it on replay.
Well, that beat him. The throw got him.
It got him. I think it got him. I agree with you, Dave.
So John Farrell with a challenge.
This is a case, though, as I said, you got to know who's running down that line and be a little bit quicker.
John with a challenge on this play, and he is out. So they reverse it. They got it right. That didn't take long. And that'll be out number 2. So Scope is erased, and that'll bring up Hardy, who's flied out to the left fielder twice. That would be Benintendi. One of those with a couple of men on base in the 5th inning. As Benintendi had to range into foul ground up near the stands to make the play. Eighth inning, the Red Sox have due up Vasquez, Selsky, and Hernandez. And Barnes with a 1-0. Kim on deck. So he would bat for Gentry. Should it get that far? And a 2-0. That drops outside and a little low. So the count 3-0 on Hardy. He pours in a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
I love the actions of Vasquez behind the plate. He put down a sign last time, and he's bringing his hands right into his stomach. He doesn't want food. He wants a fastball right down the middle of the plate.
(3-1). Did he check? No, he swung the bat. Tried to hold on, but could not. 3-2 the count.
That's talking about Vasquez. 3-0 count. What does he want? The fastball. Just bring it right to me. Right here in the breadbasket.
Barnes with a 3-2. Down he goes, strike 3. 94 miles an hour. 1-2-3. Still 6-0 Boston. Red Sox with 26 different start times. And if you import the NESN Red Sox calendar into your favorite desktop, you will not miss a game. You get automatic updates, game reminders, and a lot more. Visit NESN.com/schedule to import the schedule today. So far, it's been an excellent day for the Red Sox, up 6-0. Pitching staff has been superb. Red Sox have produced enough runs, and they've done it with the home run ball today with 3 homers. Christian Vasquez trying to join the fun. He's 0 for 3. And Selski, then Hernandez here in the 8th. Boston knocking out Kevin Gausman, their starter, at 5 1/3. A slicer down the line. That drops right on the chalk. He's got himself a hit. Maybe extra bases. Trumbo gunning. Vasquez for second. He slides in. He's safe. So 2 bases for Vasquez.
Now that's got to feel good for Vasquez. He had struck out 3 times in this game today, and he just finds the chalk down that right field line. That ball was down and in, but he's able to inside out into the opposite field. And the question is, was it going to stay fair or go foul? It stays in fair territory in the leadoff 2-base hit.
13 Red Sox hits today. And now Selski up for the first time with an RBI chance. Crowd today, good one, 35,522. This Oriole team has people excited here in Baltimore. They're turning out early. They were a playoff team last year. They won a wild card. Knocked out by Toronto. And most of that team is back. Tillman, their ace, has been injured, and Britton, their closer, who's as good as it gets, he's been injured. And they've been winning anyway.
Yeah, that's the scary part about this ball club right now. They're not nearly at 100% physically. And they're off to a great start.
Got word on why Pablo Sandoval was taken out of the game, a sprained right knee. So Pablo Sandoval nicked up here today. The 1-2. Hard hit to third. Runner at second freezing. And Machado throws on to get him. 1 away. Hernandez will be next. So this is the guy that everything is kind of playing into Marco Hernandez's hands these days. You know, Pedroia gets spiked. He has to sit out for several games. Hernandez gets a chance to play there. Bogarts was out temporarily with the jammed thumb. Hernandez got to play a little shortstop. That's the play where the line shot. He went down. He did get the out on the force at second to retire the side, but
yeah, it looked like it might have been the left knee, the one that was closest to second base.
And the report is his right knee was sprained.
Right knee is sprained?
Yeah.
The one he went down on.
Right. See if we get more details on that, if it happened on that play. And Marco today, 1 for 3 with a base hit. As Vasquez at second with 1 away. Been a strange weather day, but that's been said before in Baltimore. Started out sunny, got cloudy, but sunny again. It's cloudy again. Bogarts on deck. Here's the 1-1 from the left-hander. Punch foul. You're in the 8th inning, and the Sox are on top 6-0 over the Orioles. Been a lot of talk about the Red Sox offense last couple of days, but it came alive in the first inning against Gausman today. Single, single, homer, homer, and the Red Sox had a 4-0 lead. Castillo blocks that one back behind the plate, but No advance by Vasquez.
Sometimes when you're at second base like that, the ball goes behind the catcher. You can't tell how far it is away from the catcher, and you're wise because you're in scoring position just to hold up. It's very hard to see sometimes. You see where this ball goes. He blocks it, but then at the second base, it's hard to judge just how far it goes away from him. So when in doubt, you're in scoring position, just stay there.
2-2. Hard hit. Shortstop digs it. The runner will advance. Hernandez retired at first base, but Vasquez now 90 feet away. Tuesday at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch. Presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse. TC, Jim Rice, Steve Lyons will preview the series against the New York Yankees. First time against the Bronx Bombers this year. So a runner at third for Xander Bogaerts, who's had a real nice day at the top of the order. 2 singles and a walk today. And it seems like that jammed thumb is not giving him many issues right now after the Red Sox found the proper padding that he was comfortable with. He had to experiment a bit in the batting cage, but he found what he likes. Now hitting .339. Benintendi's on deck. He has his first 4-hit game as a big leaguer, and has a very good chance at getting to 5.
Came into the game .299. That batting average is going to spike quite a bit, especially this early in the season.
Bounding ball to third, not sharply though. Machado on the charge, zips it over there to retire the side. We're in the middle of the 8th inning. All Red Sox today so far, 6-0. Bottom of the 8th in Baltimore. Time for our player to bank on, presented by Capital One. This is Banking Reimagined.
A nice afternoon for Erod today. 7 strikeouts. We'll look at 4 of them. He used all his pitches for him. He used his fastball, his changeup, his slider. Very good changeup there for the strikeout.
Hyun-Soo Kim to pinch hit as he knocks one foul. Batting for the first time today. He's hitting for Gentry. Just 1 hit today for the Orioles. And that was a single by Chris Davis in the 5th inning. Barnes with the 0-1. Also in this inning, Adam Jones and then Manny Machado. Lawrence, who came from South Korea, 6'2", about 210. Became the first Korean-born player in Orioles history when he made his major league debut last year. He would appear in 95 games. He hit over 300. Up the middle for Bogaerts on the spin, the throw, close, the stretch, and he's out. One man gone.
Nice athletic play there by Bogaerts at shortstop. Had to cover a lot of ground going to his left, spinning and throwing. Had a tough time getting a grip on a ball. I think that's one of the reasons it sailed on him like that. But did Morland keep contact with the bag? But on that angle, it looks like he did.
Nope, no argument from Baltimore. And no review. So one away. Here's Jones. Quiet day for him. He's 0 for 3. He has flied out twice and struck out once. And Matt Barnes with a 1-0 pitch. That'll be a base hit into left field by Adam Jones. So he's on for the first time today. That's just their second hit.
Tried the breaking ball a lot of time to Jones, and Jones now 1 for 4 on the afternoon. Breaking ball at toward the outside part of the plate and off the end of the bat, but still the productive at bat for Jones.
We'll send up Machado, has flied out, hit into a fielder's choice, and taken ball 4. Hitting 197. Orioles with a rare base runner in this one. And he gets drilled. He knew eventually that was coming.
That ball hit the bat. Did it not?
He's walking up the line. That's what John Farrell wants to know. This all goes back to the spiking of Dustin Pedroia. John Farrell chatting here with Fletcher. And Machado walking up the first base line to take the base.
That sounded like the ball hit the bat. But what did I tell you between innings, Dave?
It was coming.
It was coming, and I felt it was coming now. I thought they tried to do it last time. Now let's take another look. Where does it hit? Hits the bat. It's a foul ball.
Barnes has been thrown out. Question now is, did it nick the helmet or did it go right into the bat? In which case it would be a foul ball.
I thought it was a foul ball. I didn't see it hit the helmet. We'll have to see. But I had a feeling it was coming. As a matter of fact, if you go back to the last at bat for Machado, Rodriguez threw inside 3 times on him, trying to get him down low. Now what Farrell is arguing now is that's a foul ball. And he's also thrown Barnes out of the game. But we told you retribution was coming. We didn't know when. You had to wait till the Red Sox had a lead. You've got to be, it's a dangerous thing because you've got to lead in the game. It's a comfortable lead, 6-0, but nothing's comfortable against Baltimore. But it was coming, and that was it right there. So Barnes is out. Machado, in my opinion, unless I'm seeing things, I thought was the foul ball.
I got to believe that's part of John Farrell's argument here. That definitely struck the bat there.
And hit the bat.
Now the umpires are going to huddle. Another angle.
Yeah, that definitely hit the bat. So, you know, Machado should probably still be at the plate with a strike on him. Now, the only thing I don't like about that, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I would say a knee for a knee if you're going for retribution. Pedroia's knee got hurt. I'd say you throw down around the knee area to Machado. I don't like it up around the head, but you knew something was coming. If we could go back to his last at bat, if we could find that in the truck and go back to his last at bat, my feeling was that they were trying to get him down low in his last at bat.
The last time up, he wound up taking ball 4.
Yes.
After those inside pitches. Again, Barnes has been ejected. There's a lot of standing around here. Buck Showalter is out there for some reason along the first base line. Guess he wants the immediate word from Andy Fletcher, Alan Porter, Paul Nart, and Hunter Wendelstedt. Yeah, for all the world, it looks to us like it was a foul ball.
Now let's look at his last at bat and go back and take a peek at this, okay? Now you're going to see Erod try to go inside down lower on his knees a couple of times. There's one, I think there were 3 of them that he tried to get in that position. And it seemed to me like last time they were trying to get him.
Well, Machado is leaving first base. He's going to pick up a bat.
Yeah, he's going to go back and hit.
Because this has been ruled a foul ball.
Now this could get very interesting. This by no means is over. And I don't mean just today. This could continue on in the series at Fenway. Could continue on all season long.
As mentioned, they are headed back to Fenway on May 1st. And Joe Kelly will be the new pitcher. And Machado has to go back to the plate. A high one, but somehow it got past his head and struck the bat.
And the last at bat, 3 times Rodriguez threw inside, but they were down around the knees. And I had a gut feeling that at that point he was trying to get Machado. You can see Pedroia shaking his head. The reason he's shaking his head is because, you know, this game's not won yet. And I don't think anybody likes to see anything up around the head.
I also think he's not thrilled about being in the middle of this controversy.
Now, this controversy is going to go on for you know, a long time. It's going to continue on through the Boston series.
Well, they are 2 teams that are not fond of each other. There is no love lost between most of the Red Sox and most of the Orioles.
Yeah, and you can see Pedroia now yelling to the other dugout. It wasn't me. He's talking to Machado. It wasn't me. You know, come on, man. You're throwing at my head. I don't think that's right. You know, that's what's going on right now. It's not me. It's them. It's not me. It's them. And Machado's pointing to his head. Hey, I got your knee. Why are you throwing at my head?
You're right. It's not the end of it.
Now the question is Kelly going to drill him?
Well, if he does, he's going to be ejected immediately.
He's going to be out of the game, too. So my guess would probably be not. But nothing would surprise me in this crazy situation. But we knew it was going to happen. Honestly, I thought it was last time up. I told you between innings, if he comes up in this inning, they're going to get him. And they did. Well, they didn't get him. They got a foul ball. But it's all escalated. And it's going to be, this is going to be a very, very interesting season with these 2 teams, believe me.
Now, Kelly getting as many warm-up tosses as he requires, coming in an emergency situation after the ejection of Matt Barnes. Although he never hit Machado.
And here's Erod last time. You can see him going down, and I prefer this. You know, he's trying to go inside to get him around the knees, around the, you know, the shin. He missed every time. I thought, honestly, that time they were trying to get him. I think Machado thought so that time.
Now, would Machado have assumed that it's over after that?
If it was me, I'd say this is nowhere close to being over. Now, I don't know, you know, you make a good point. If Kelly throws at him and hits him, or even acts like he throws at him, he's going to be out of this game too. So it may be momentarily over, but this game's not over yet.
True.
Red Sox have to hit again. And any throw up around the head is a very dangerous throw.
Benintendi, Betts, and Hanley Ramirez scheduled to bat when this game goes to the 9th inning. Red Sox ahead 6-0.
And you can see the exchange between Pedroia and Machado. Machado on deck, you know, and Pedroia saying, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me." And nobody told him to hit, you know, throw at your head. And that's what Machado was upset about, that they threw at his head.
So a foul ball off the bat of Machado. One down, runner at first base. Last half of the 8th inning. And Joe Kelly on. And a shot to center field, driving back Jackie Bradley. That gets over his head. Jones on his way into third base. They're going to wave him in. And he's going to score as the throw trickles into Bogarts. So Machado gets some measure of revenge with a double to drive in a run. And they're on the board for the first time today. That makes it 6-1.
It's a slider that time too, and Machado all over it. Just a rocket to center field. So he clearly was not thinking that they were going to throw at him again right there.
So no shutout today for the Red Sox staff. Here's Trumbo. He's 0 for 3. With a pop-up, a strikeout, and another pop-up. He's been frustrated today. Last time up, he slammed his bat into the ground. Floater, and there's Betts. Right at Mookie Betts to make the play. And Machado will stay put at second. And there are 2 down. 2 away in the 8th, and Chris Davis next.
Coming up for the Red Sox in the 9th will be Benintendi, Betts, and Ramirez. Now remember, Betts has had an awful lot of success against this Oriole ball club.
Davis with a strikeout and a single and a walk. He had their first hit of the day. That didn't come until the 5th inning against Eduardo Rodriguez, who can win it. He checks and it's low ball 1. Job 1 for the Red Sox is to get out of Baltimore with a victory and get home to begin that lengthy homestand. But things have gotten fired up here at Camden Yards for the 2nd time in the series. Runner goes, and it's in there for a strike. And Machado safely down to third with 2 down. No stolen base for Machado. That's defensive indifference. And Joe Kelly with a 1-1. Wave and a miss.
Curveball on time from Kelly to pick up the swing from Davis.
5 for 10 with a home run and a double off of Kelly. And 1-2 pitch. Down into the dirt. Good block by Vasquez. Well, for John Farrell and the Red Sox, after today, still 14 meetings with the Orioles. Going to be a fascinating summer.
Going to be fascinating at Fenway.
Now come May 1, right around the corner. Kelly trying to put him away with a K. The 2-2. Left it outside.
Change up that time from Kelly. You don't see very many of those from him.
Machado at third now. The 3-2 coming. Breaking ball, and he walked him. So the Red Sox are not out of this inning yet. First and third for Mancini. Red Sox have silenced him today. Despite his 5 home runs, he has struck out twice and grounded into a fielder's choice. Mancini with outstanding power, very upright stance. He looks at a strike. Kimbrel now loosening in the pen. Greg has not been able to work yet in the series. 0-2.
Completely fooled on that breaking ball from Joe Kelly. Starts it on the outside part of the plate and actually breaks into the left-handed batter's box.
Kelly trying to put him away for the 3rd time today. 1-2. Red Sox with 13 hits. Baltimore with just 3. Although 2 of them have come in this 8th inning. Machado at third base. He doubled. Davis at first base. And a 1-2 pitch. He strikes him out. Side retired. We go to the 9th. Red Sox up by 5. Lesson is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. to the ninth inning here in Baltimore. 6-1. The Sox in front.
I wouldn't at all expect that somebody gets one here from the Red Sox.
Benintendi looks at a strike. He's 4 for 4 today with 4 singles. First time in his young career a 4-hit game, so looking for 5 here on this Sunday afternoon. And Betts and then Ramirez. Red Sox closing in on grabbing a win here at Camden Yards. Up the middle, and there's a 5-hit game for Benintendi. For the first time in his career, the rookie 5 for 5.
Well, it took a breaking ball that time too. That was going away from him and able to hook it back up the middle for the base hit. That's some very nice hitting right there by Benintendi. That ball not easy to hit, breaking ball away, and takes it up the middle. So pitching change.
Asher coming in, the right-hander, to take on Mookie Betts, and we shall return to Camden Yards. Eduardo Rodriguez really good over 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. They did not score, only 1 hit off him. Mookie Betts, Mitch Morland, and Hanley Ramirez all at home runs today. Red Sox knocking Gausman out after 5 1/3. And Machado, who just had a controversial at bat, 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Matt Barnes tossed out of the ball game after throwing high. The pitch that actually struck his bat and never hit him.
Yeah, you know, the reason I say this is going to continue to escalate is because the pitch was up around the head of Machado. Had it been down from the ribs down, probably all would be over for now. But this keeps it going. There's no question in my mind about that. I'm positive about that.
Asher coming out of the bullpen, a 1.42 ERA to face Mookie Betts after Benintendi just singled for the 5th time. Mookie has crushed a home run. He's also singled on the day. His 3-run homer in the first inning got the offense going. Here in the 9th inning, the Sox up 6-1. And a 1-0. Ball 2. Hanley Ramirez on deck. Red Sox with 14 hits here this afternoon. And Asher's 2-0. Ball 3. Red Sox will be flying back to Boston after this one and enjoy a Monday off day at home.
Well, some of you will.
You're a little busy. Get some things lined up.
I go to my second job tomorrow. I'm doing commercials for Lexus of Watertown, right? You know, it's to be on set at 9:30 in the morning. They do your makeup. They do all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I got a very busy day ahead of me. Some very nice people.
Great folks. They take a long time making you up, or is it like 5 minutes and you're done?
No, this is big league. This is a big time production. So,
good lighting and everything.
Yeah, so some of us have a day off, and some of us have a second job.
I think I'll text you. See how it's going at lunch. Here's Hanley, first and second, nobody out. His 1 RBI today on a big home run to left in the first inning. He could easily have 4 more. As his high deep drive to center field in the second inning was caught in a warning track with the bases loaded. Red Sox trying to add on here. They have not scored since the 6th inning. Here's the 0-1 and a strike. A bit of a generous call there. Benintendi with a single. He's now down to second. Mookie Betts at first. Asher very, very slow on the hill. Here comes the 0-2. And a foul ball.
Monday, May 1st is Hanley Ramirez Chain Night at Fenway Park. The first 12,000 fans in attendance will receive a Ramirez El Trece chain necklace presented by Gold's Pure Foods. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos.
Morland on deck, and a right-hander with the 0-2 pitch to Hanley. Red Sox Yankees Tuesday night. Rick Porcello against Severino. Wednesday night, Chris Sale against Masahiro Tanaka. And on Thursday, Drew Pomerantz against Sabathia. 3 games with the Yankees and then the Cubs for 3 over the weekend. Talk about a highly anticipated series. 1-2. Moved him back. 2 ancient franchises going toe to toe. That should be a blast at Fenway. If you're holding a ticket for any of those games, you are lucky. The 2-2 now. Ground ball to the shortstop. Hardy to scope 1. To first. Got him. Double play. Benintendi safely to third base. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final, presented by Plain Ridge Park Casino. Jim Rice, Steve Lyons, and TC will recap Eduardo Rodriguez start. Red Sox in command here today, 6-1. Benintendi leading off third.
Get a big lead off third base too. They're in that shift, so Machado way over the shortstop position. You can come almost halfway down the line. Any ball that gets by the catcher, even not that far, you might be able to score.
Morland with a good day, the home run and the base hit. He's 2 for 4. Just a little bit too high, according to Fletcher. And the count 2-0. Quite an afternoon for the youngster Benintendi. 5 hits, 5 for 5. Mookie Betts with a homer. Morland and Hanley with home runs. That's it for a strike. Red Sox with by far their best game of this series. And we'll look to put the finishing touches on it. Come the last half of the ninth inning here today. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Lets it go and it misses inside. 3-1. This game was actually moving at a pretty good pace until the dust up in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Asher does not work fast. Here comes the 3-1. All filled up on Morland.
Morland gave a little favor there by swinging on one that was way off the outside part of the plate. Everything else had been inside. Then he throws one away from Morland and runs the count to 3-2.
Jackie Bradley, the on deck man. Benintendi 90 feet away with 2 down and the 3-2. Fly ball into left field and Kim right there to make the play. Side retired. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Red Sox up by 5. Red Sox baseball on NESN is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Red Sox 3 outs away from a victory here in Baltimore on top 6-1. Jerry Remy, Dave O'Brien, and Garen Austin with you. 25th year of Camden Yards. Red Sox will bring on the left-hander Fernando Abad. They're going to end this one. He'll get the bottom third of their order here in the bottom of the 9th. Right now the victory would go to Eduardo Rodriguez. He was really tough over 6 innings in a ballpark he loves to pitch in.
Yeah, the activities of last inning took away from a lot of good baseball that's been played today by the Red Sox. A big day by Benintendi. Betts the home run. Ramirez the home run. Very good pitching by Erod.
Wellington Castillo to lead things off here for the Orioles. Abad out of the bullpen. It's kind of fascinating to note that He was pitching for the Oakland A's a few years ago when Manny Machado threw a bat in Abad's direction, and Machado was suspended for 5 games for that. There's also an incident at home plate where not once but a couple of times Machado on a backswing connected with the A's catcher. I believe that was Norris at the time. The very beginning of Machado's career. But Abad was in the middle of that. Here comes the 1-1. Fly, pretty well hit. Betts turning around, can't get it. Up and over his head, up against the fence. Castillo will trot into second base. He has a double.
All the offense coming late in the game here for the Orioles, picking up a run last inning in the 8th. Now the leadoff double. See how shallow Mookie was playing, and he couldn't, even with his speed, could not catch up to that. So you get another base runner here in the 9th. You'll probably see Kimbrel back up throwing.
Yeah, he had been warming up earlier without getting in the game. Here comes Scope. 0 for 2 with a walk today.
Red Sox with the off day tomorrow, and you got to use them. You use them.
We've not seen him yet in the series. Nobody out, man at second. Scopes hit 4 home runs. Off speed in there for strike 1 with a changeup. The Sox have won each of their last 5 day games. So trying to make it 6 for 6. What they've really gotten in those games is excellent pitching. It's been the case again today with a 1.96 ERA. Today some offense too. Castillo at second base and nobody out. Popped up foul. That'll make the seats. Don't miss NESN Live weeknights at 5:30. You can catch the latest on your favorite New England sports teams. NESN Live presented by Cross Insurance. J.J. Hardy on deck. Abad thinking strikeout here, and the 1-2.
Trying to pick up that outside corner, pulled back in by Vasquez. An indication that the ball was outside.
Scope, a big second baseman. 2-2. And all filled up now. Well, Abad is trying to work his way into more meaningful innings. But he's allowed a double, and now 3-2 on Scope with a 5-run lead. And a walk would not help his cause here. Fly to center field. Routine play for Jackie Bradley. In on it. 1 man gone. A runner holding at second. Stay on top of the latest Red Sox news and NESN's free Red Sox text alerts coming your way. From breaking news to in-game alerts, sign up. Text Red Sox to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. 1 away for Hardy. I wonder what is going through the mind of Manny Machado right now.
He's obviously upset. I don't think it's any big surprise to him that the Red Sox were going to try to get him. I think the big surprise is that they threw at the head, and that's something that, you know, in this game is not good, and that's probably what's in his mind.
Hardy 0 for 3 with 2 flies to left and a strikeout. if you're just joining us, this actually hit his bat.
Yeah, it went foul. So he had to go back in. He gets back in and he gets a double. Of course, here's the exchange right there between Pedroia. It's not me.
Assuring Machado that it didn't come from him.
Pedroia said nothing about it. He's really not said much at all about the incident.
No, if anything, he's talked about how much he doesn't like the rule.
Right.
Red Sox, on the other hand, as an organization, have been unhappy with the explanation by the umpires and the reasoning behind why the rule was not enforced, which was supposed to protect second basemen and shortstops. That one's rolled foul. As you said, it doesn't end here today.
No, not at all. Not at all. This will continue through the series at Fenway. This will continue. You never know what's going to trigger the next thing. And what triggers the next thing, in this case, it could have been over for now, but what triggered it was throwing it to head.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if that pitch is in his rib cage or off his thigh, it might be all done. Hernandez backs up, throws to first, and 2 down. With Castillo advancing to third base, but with 2 away.
As a matter of fact, for Barnes, unfortunately, that may cause a suspension for him. It's quite possible for throwing up around somebody's head.
Right.
I mean, it's an immediate ejection. And a lot of times the managers end up getting ejected for that too. Also.
And John Farrell obviously did not in this case.
And, after the game, you're in a position when Bonds will be questioned about it. And, it's always the same answer from every pitcher, and it should be. The ball just slipped, got away from him.
Got to think if he had to do it again, you'd do it differently. Give him the ground ball toward the hole. Bogarts will scoop and fire, long throw, but not going to get him, and a run is in. That'll make it 6-2 Boston. So Castillo scores, and it will be a base hit for Kim. And he picks up an RBI, so this one not quite over yet.
Not too far to go off the bat of the left-hander, and you see Bogarts going to the outfield grass, and nowhere near in time to get it. So another run for the Orioles.
And sends up Adam Jones, who is 1 for 4 today with a base hit. He's back in the 8th inning. He batted right in front of Machado. And Manny Machado coming to the on-deck area again. Runner at first, 2 away. And 6-2. Jones has never made an out against Abad. 3 for 3. And a 1-0 pitch from the lefty. Hard hit, but foul quickly into the stands. Somebody made a play.
That had to be a great play because that ball was hit hard.
Sox fan.
Look at the poor kid behind him. He's so close to getting him. Look, I was so close.
Play of the day. 1 ball, 1 strike. Into right field for a base hit. Kim will pull up at second and stop there. So Jones with a base hit. They have 3 of them in the inning off of Abad, and here comes John Farrell. He didn't want to have to do this, to go back to the bullpen, but he is going to bring in Kimbrel. With runners at first and second, and the man coming up, Machado. So the closer coming in with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th, and we'll have more from Camden Yards in a moment. And the threat here in the 9th inning for Baltimore with runners at first and second. Kimbrel coming on and about to go after Machado. And 6 out of 7 so far on the year in saves, an ERA of 2. Last time we saw Craig, of course, was in Toronto when he blew a save but got the win on in relief of Chris Sale. He takes over for Abad here, gave up a double and 2 singles. And also a run on the RBI by Kim. So it'll be Machado, who has gone 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Tying run in the on-deck circle, so a safe situation here for Craig Kimbrel. Orioles battling, trying to sweep the Sox here, but Red Sox lead at 6-2 with 2 down in the 9th. Machado, of course, with big power. So far, he has 1 home run this season. And Kimbrel fires at 98, but a miss for ball 1. Well, it has been a long afternoon, not without more fireworks. Lots to chew on at the end of this one. The 1-0 pitch. And the Red Sox are trying to salt away a victory.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You know, Red Sox getting a win in this game because they played a very good game today. They need a win. They needed this kind of offense today. Now it's up to Kimbrel to close it out.
Two on, 2 out, 2-0 on Machado. Kimbrel has struck him out twice in his career. High pop up. That should do it. Here comes Hernandez. He's there. Ball game. The Red Sox win it 6-2. Fascinating game, but the Red Sox coming home 3-3 TC on the road trip.